Mr. Whiskey himself back with our guy Jimmy.
Hey.
Jimmy G, man.
What's that, man? Hey, yeah.
We're going to open up a bottle that Jamarcus found, and it's bourbon. Finest bourbon is what it says. Jimmy's going to teach us a little bit about blends, your experience, what makes it special, hell, what makes it not so special, man.
Dang, if I'd have known we were going to do that, I would have brought my gold. We could have cracked it. I got a barrel picked gold. We'll do that next time.
See what I'm saying? So go ahead and break this down for him, man. Let him know what this is. If it's good or bad, if it sucks, what's your take on it, man?
So Blanton's got a lot of hype about it, behind it. It's dope. I think what's attracted to it is like the availability or lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of thing, that builds a hype behind it. So this is the original single barrel. This was started by Elmer T. Lee, who he has his own whiskey now too, which is fire. But yeah, he's the one who kind of started this. And Blanton's is named after some guy in the war back in the Gap. Okay. If I remember correctly. Okay. I did a tour there at Buffalo Tracing. Got to learn a lot, but
so Buffalo Trace,
this is a Buffalo Trace product.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
because we was in Kentucky and I could have went to Buffalo Trace, man.
This is definitely a product from Buffalo Trace. Eagle Rare, you got a lot of them. E.H. Taylor. So that, you got the big conglomerate, and you got all these subsidiary little byproducts of it. Same with Beam, they got a lot like that too.
But when we went to Beam, I didn't know that they were a Basil Hayden.
Basil Hayden.
I was like, oh, that's what makes it. This is crazy to me because you see in the ownership and the levels to it.
Yeah.
At a different
and it's all different like mash bills too, right? A lot of them. So that's why they create different lanes or brands for the different mash bills and different expressions that they create, right?
And the mash bill is what? The corn, the wheat, and all that other
grains, stuff. Whatever they use, right? Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and crack it open and pour some.
So this one's pretty cool, and these toppers are pretty
they're collector's items, right?
Yeah, people like these. And there's some that are rare, and there's they all have a letter, and they spell out Blanton's. You see, you got a T. Oh. So each one you can collect, and all of them are different stages of the Kentucky Derby, and you have a whiskey stave that you can place all of them on in a row, and it's kind of like on the track. Pretty cool. That's it. They also got a carousel too.
Tim has he's got the collector at the Whiskey Blendery, man. He's got that thing.
So dope.
He's probably done bought tons.
And so you can buy these aftermarket, but what they do is they notch them in the cork. So the deal is to collect as many as you can from buying the bottles.
Yeah.
And that, if you buy them from the distillery, they got a notch in them. So people that are nerds like me will check your stave. Be like, oh,
that's like seeing if the Yeezys is fake or not.
Yeah. I mean, they're still real. You didn't earn them.
You didn't buy that bottle, huh?
Yep.
Well, see, I wouldn't even know.
So you see, how they did the wax there. It's kind of like a little plastic strip.
Okay.
Well, and there goes that. I'll let you pop, my man.
Man. Interesting. That is interesting, ain't it?
Yeah.
I see.
Little bronze topper.
Go ahead, man. Get you some of that there.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, man. Guys, what you're going to do is continue to watch me and Jimmy G. Get Jamarcus some glassware here.
Yeah, let's get him one.
You can use this one.
So you see the proof point on this one, all right?
He hastily left out.
You see the proof point. Well, it's 93. Is it 93? What is it?
Yep, 93.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of low for us, right? We're heavy hitters. Thanks to Tim and them, they got us on that juice. Hey. But still, this is a good whiskey. If it's attainable at MSRP, I suggest I wouldn't go crazy about it. I wouldn't.
Now, what is MSRP for?
Like this? Well, the retailer suggested price.
And what's that normal price for a bottle of Blanton's?
I think it's $65. Yes, yeah, exactly.
We paid $1.80 for this one, man.
See what I'm saying? Stop doing that.
No.
You gotta talk to me before you make them kind of purchases because listen, it's good, but it's not a 180 good, bro.
No, it ain't. You're right about that. I'm telling you now. I think it's the story and everything you told is more unique than what we drink.
I'll tell you what's really sought after. What you want is straight from the barrel, SFTB. Those are the Blanton straight from the barrel. They'll have
so that's like cash strain.
Yeah, cash strain essentially. And yeah, those are good. I think that's more up our alley.
That makes sense.
And the gold, I have a gold open that to me, it's good, but it's not great. Okay. But I have a barrel pick gold that they say is phenomenal.
Interesting.
So we might have to crack that and try it, guys.
So in your opinion, then, on average, it is important then to make sure you get single barrel or something that's cask strength, even when you're purchasing a bottle from a different.
I guess it depends, dude. Like, everybody's so different that you got to find your lane, right? And your lane, you might be in that lane for a year. And then all of a sudden you start changing up, you know, like, but like there's some good that aren't single barrel, some really good bottles that you can get for $25, you know, that aren't single barrel. But I like, you know, like I said, I like club picks. I like when I know the people that are going to pick them or associated with, and also the blendery, man. I mean, I always fall back on that, but
we keep plugging the blendery people because
kind of where I'm at with it.
We just keep getting magical stuff, man. So, Jimmy, do you have a flavor profile that you prefer when you are drinking whiskey? Like when you buy your bottles, are you looking for the chocolate, the cinnamon, the sweetness, the softness? What is it that you're looking for when you go for a bottle? I'm
just now getting into learning like more about like the sourcing, like in GP, and like what each like the different mash bills from the different brands. Before I just knew what I liked by brand. I didn't really break down the mash bill as much. I'm more getting into that the last couple of years, but I like the high rye bourbons, and you know, and I like rye too, especially the older rye.
For sure, rye guy.
Yeah, and then I'm an old school wild turkey guy too. I like the old funky wild turkey stuff. So you know, I like bourbons as well, but I'm more of the aged bourbon, you know.
And an aged bourbon is how many years old oftentimes in your?
I like anywhere from 8 to 15.
8 to 15. And bourbon's going to be corn forward.
51% corn, right?
Yeah, and then everything else. And that's going to always yield
and it has to be in a white oak, new charred white oak barrel?
Yep.
So those are the stipulations for bourbon, right?
Cannot be moved. If it is moved to any other barrel, it is whiskey, not bourbon. But it's funny because bourbon can be whiskey, but whiskey can't be bourbon.
Yeah, some whiskey can't be bourbon, but all bourbon is whiskey.
Isn't that crazy how that works, man?
Isn't that cool?
I tell you, I learn a lot every day, and I assure you, I got a lot more to learn. But guys, if you're interested in, I guess, building out your collection, it sounds like this is a collector's item more than it is, I don't want to say great whiskey. It's not bad. It's just like compared to what we normally drink.
Is it a collector's item? Some people might think it is. I don't. I mean, I got one, but you know, it's like I have it for when people come over because a lot of people, there's a lot of rah-rah behind this bottle. In my opinion, it's overrated.
Tim said the same thing. He goes, he was like you. Oh God, why would you? He said, I would have given you a gold one.
I would have given you a gold.
He goes, don't spend that money on that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, unfortunately, that's the game, bro. And some people are sheeple and they go for what they hear. Yeah. And, you know, I explore. Now, in my early years in like 2014, 2015, when I really got hyped into like going whiskey hunting and stuff, that's when I really got hyped about it. Yeah, I didn't know everything. So then it wasn't crazy either.
Yeah.
The prices are dumb retarded now, excuse me. They're dumb stupid right now. You know, so I don't want to offend anybody.
Hey, look, you know, part of life, you know, we live in a time where you can't say no, but you got to be able to speak from your truth, man. You know, Dave Chappelle's proved that you can say what you want. That's all I'm going to say.
For sure. But all respect to the special education people.
And I agree with them 100%. So we don't say that, you know, with like, in a derogative way. You know, it's not malicious.
That's genuine.
So anything else they should know about Blanton's, man? Is Blanton's worth the hype? Yes or no?
Nope.
There you have it, people. Well, we cracked this bottle of Blanton's. We've had it almost since we moved into the house, which was 7-1 this year. We got to try it with my guy, Jimmy G. Ain't nobody else better to teach us and drink with us and share with us a little bit about his journey and story. He's got more years and experience than I do. I do like the bottle. I think it's unique. I like the way it looks from a marketing and branding standpoint. That's the kind of guy I am. I say, oh, that's unique. It'll force you in a wall of whiskey. You'd be like, what's that?
No, and it's cool. And the bottle's cool, bro, and the story behind it. And I suggest you guys just look into Blanton, the story behind it. And Elmer T. Lee, the creator of it. I mean, and then there's another whiskey you can try, Elmer T. Lee, which is hard to get too. Another product of Buffalo Trace. Fantastic whiskey. So it's just good. Hey, listen, I'm not knocking Blanton's. There's a space for everybody in this community. And so, you know, but for me, I'm cool on it. So
when you start, this goes back to your whiskey journey, right?
Right.
So when you look at your whiskey journey, you say, man, where am I at today? As he talked about, a 90 proof for me, I remember had I not really got into cooking and eating and developing flavors, and I wanted spice and savor.
Well,
and
that would be something. I'd be like, whoa, that's hot.
But that's
right
my point.
back in the day.
Yeah. So if I had tried this, I'd say 5 years ago, I'd be like, whoo, that's some whiskey.
Yeah.
Now I'm like this pussy.
Yeah.
Let me just be honest.
It's weak. It's weak in comparison
to what we have access to on a regular. This Double Jeopardy is 119, right?
Yeah.
And it don't drink like it's 119. So when you get it 100, if you get over 101 or 115 plus, you're used to tasting ethanol, burning your nose,
or at least getting the hug on the chest or the stomach. Oh, I just knocked.
You good? You good?
I knocked you off.
he over here.
But yeah, you normally you getting what are you getting, like the burn in the stomach or the chest? You feel it, but like even some of those samples yesterday, they were almost 120 and they were like nectar. It was like no burn. That's crazy.
That might be the name for it, man. Next one, call it
sweet nectar, that honey nectar.
And I tasted some Manuka on them boogers. That Manuka honey.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
They were special, man. Those
Manuka's special honey too.
It's special honey, and that whiskey was. Boy, it was special to say the least. So, at anywho, people, we got Jimmy G in here. We just broke down blends. Is blends worth the hype? We'll let you choose. In our humble opinion, and I mean that respectfully, I would never buy another bottle for $180. I don't care if it was platinum.
Yeah.
Guys, keep it whiskey.
Keep it whiskey.